Hello, right, so I am continuing on with this theme about how we can control pain by having different thoughts about our pain. And if you've not heard the story, I'll go on and talk about it again. But I decided to write a series of posts and podcasts because I had a visit to a physical therapy, and she kind of said to me that a lot of my pain is in my head, and I totally understood what she means, and I just thought, well, I get this, but I think a lot of people might feel quite offended by what this woman has just said to me. If they were, if she'd said that to somebody else, how would they feel when hearing those words? And so I decided to write a few posts, and I'm talking on here about the posts that I've written. What I tend to do is that I will talk over kind of the things that I've written in a podcast kind of format. So that's what I'm doing now. So the last podcast, I spoke about the conscious brain. The conscious brain is the part of our brain that is aware. So it's the awareness of our brain. And in my post, I use an example of a paper cut. So I don't know if I'm sure you've had a paper cut before. If you're my age, I'm sure you've experienced paper cuts. And it really hurts. It really hurts to have a paper cut. And it's the tiniest of cuts. But my gosh, the pain from that thing is excruciating. It really is difficult to deal with it. And it lingers on all day as well. It's just like, it's not going away. And then you look at your paper cut on your finger, and you just think to yourself, why am I reacting in this way over this paper cut? And for me, when I've had those, I have to kind of give myself a good talking to, like, come on, get a grip. Look how small this cut is. Why are you making it affect you? And I shouldn't. But when I do that, I do tend to feel calm. I feel calm. And now I've not had a paper cut for many, many, many years. And if I was to have a paper cut, I'm sure I would be quite calm about it because I know it's not anything serious. But when I was younger, when I was a child, yeah, having a paper cut was like the end of the world. And in my post, I put down that, probably most people are not getting paper cuts anyway now because everything's electronic, isn't it? So like we don't tend to deal with paper very much. But yes, I know that now if I was to experience a paper cut, then it's no big deal because I know what it feels like and I know that it's not going to harm me. Okay, and so the knowing that a paper cut is not going to harm me, the knowing that it's nothing serious, like yeah, it hurts, but like it'll be gone in a day or two. So I know that it's not a big deal. And so this knowing my body's memories, my brain's memory of a paper cut, this is where we're tapping into the subconscious brain. So the subconscious part of your brain, your mind, your thoughts, is responsible for holding on to your memories. Okay. And so these memories that we are holding on to, they're not memories that you're aware of. And that's the confusing part. So you're probably thinking, what on earth are you talking about? Memories that we don't know about? What are you talking about, Cheryl? Well, the issue here is that these memories, they're not conscious. So it's stuff that our body is holding on to that we're not really consciously aware that we're holding on to these things. And the reasons why it's holding on to these things is because we've been feeding it. And we do need to feed it all the time, but we're not really feeding it consciously. And we can't switch it off and we can't switch it on. So we can't control it. This thing is out of our control, totally out of our control. But it is certainly controlling you, and it's controlling you without you even knowing it. And that is the big issue with a lot of things that we are dealing with when it comes to our pain. Because you are, and I'm doing it, we are feeding this subconscious part of our brain and we don't really know that we're doing it. Yeah, so like the subconscious brain, the subconscious mind, it knows that a paper cut isn't harmful. But at the moment, when my neck starts triggering off with these slip discs that I've got in my neck and these slip discs that I've got in my lower back, it is starting to, it's alarm bells because I'm feeding to this part of my mind, part of my brain, that there's danger. And and maybe you too, we need to kind of feed it different messages. So at the moment for me, my messages are that I've been given some exercises by the physical therapist, the physio, and I'm doing them every day. And day by day, things are happening. I'm noticing things that are happening at the moment when it comes to my neck and my lower back because I'm starting to feed it. Like the first time I did it, oh my God, it was horrendous. The pain. But I've had to rein things back and just feed it a little bit every single day. If you've been listening to me for a while, or if you've gone back and listened to some of the old things that I've been talking about, I have been on this crusade when it comes to walking. And it is now, what month are we on now? September now. And in February of this year, 2024, I had a huge flare up with my slip discs. and spinal stenosis. And, you know, most likely these things are going to be with me for life. They're here to stay. They're not going anywhere. I've been battling with it for about 7 years, and probably 18 months ago or so, I would say I was in a really good condition with my body. I felt really good. Started going to the gym and really enjoying it at the gym, but I wasn't listening to my body, and I was lifting way too much because, you know, consciously I was thinking, well, this weight feels really light now, so why don't I just push it and force it? Let's see if we can go a bit further, because this seems really easy and it feels like I'm lifting air. And I was doing certain things that I felt, it felt okay, it felt safe, I felt that there was nothing going to happen. But now looking back, I was pushing my body way too hard, and that's when things started going pretty bad. And have like issues with like the nerves now on the left side of my body. Well, I have done for some time, but all of that flared back up. I couldn't walk, I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand, I couldn't lie, I couldn't do anything comfortably, you know. And the crusade has been that I decided, around about April, May time, I decided that's it now. I am going to try and walk every day. And it started off with like a minute walk, walking around the house, not very well because I couldn't feel my left side very well. Started doing that. Then I ventured out the house and would walk up and down my street, probably looking like a bit of an idiot, but I didn't care. Then it got to 5-minute walks where I was doing that pretty comfortably. And then there were days where I push it again, silly me, pushing things. And then my body would feel things because I went too far. And now I've got this nice rhythm where I'm walking like 10 to 15 minutes twice a day. And that is just right for my back, for my neck. And so I'm feeding this subconscious part of my brain, my mind, to know that, okay, it's all right to walk. It's okay, you're safe. Whereas a few months ago, I wasn't feeding that. I was feeding that walking is dangerous. If I try and walk, then I'm going to be in pain. And so I'm slowly, I'm feeding it now with new things. I'm feeding it now, but I've got these neck exercises that I'm having to do. And to start off with, yeah, it's painful. It's very painful. But over time now, I've been feeding my body, feeding my brain to say, okay, this is all right. It's safe. And I have to also be aware of how far to push. Don't go too far. Be gentle. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to my body, you know. So this is kind of the message that I've been putting out in these last few posts, really, is just to, you know, feed your brain. And this is what the physio, this is what the physical therapist was telling me. She's not telling me anything wrong. She's telling me that, yes, you've got to rewire things because you've been feeding your brain all of this stuff and saying that it's in danger. And now it's time to change that around. And if you start doing these little things a little bit every single day, keep feeding it, you know, like you would a baby, got to keep feeding it, you know, little bit, then you'll change things. You'll start to rewire things, and then the body will pay you back. The brain will pay you back in different ways. You know, it might be that you're on these pain medications, and these pain medications are really there to do what your brain is doing. It's releasing things like neurotransmitters to help you to deal with the pain. What if you could do that yourself? What if you could do that yourself? Right, so that is what I'm here to talk to you about today. So this has been about the subconscious brain and understanding the differences, you know, and that the things that you are feeding the subconscious brain, you know, you're not totally aware of this, but you just got to keep doing these little things, do these little habits. You know, it might be with your food, eating these different foods, feeding yourself with nourishing food. So then that, you know, you can be you know, you're feeding and paying the body, and then it will feed you back then with less pain or with less symptoms or less this or less that. So that's what we just need to be doing every day. And if you don't know who I am, because I haven't even mentioned my name, so my name's Cheryl Best. I am trained as a nutritional therapist and a yoga teacher. I like to write and speak about health and wellness, and in particular, speaking about health and wellness when it comes to chronic illnesses. And I'm kind of here to share really my ups and downs, because even though I have these labels of a nutritional therapist and a yoga teacher, it doesn't mean that I've got everything worked out. You know, not everything's worked out. Like I'm saying, you know, I have chronic illnesses, and I want to be honest about that and share that with people. Along the way, I will give you tips like this about, you know, talking about the subconscious brain and the conscious brain, talking about food, talking about meditation and breath work. That's where I'm going to be diving into. I'm going to be diving into those kinds of things. But this is about honesty. I want to be honest. I want to be open, because I think that's really important. I think sometimes you can see people who are, or listen to people who are therapists, and you think, oh, well, they've got all their shit sorted out. And I'm here to say that we haven't. You know, we have got issues going on, and I don't want to I don't want to have a mask. I want to release that mask. And if I can release that mask and that can be helping you, then that'd be fantastic. That's what I'm here to do. Okay, so I'm waffling on now, so I'm going to finish up now. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. Think about the subconscious mind. Think about it. Think about what you're feeding it. And I know that I've said you can't control it, but you can sort of control it, and you can be controlling it by the habits that you're feeding it. So just think about, what am I possibly feeding my subconscious mind on a daily basis? And I'm not here to knock, like I've said, that's not what I'm about. But yeah, sometimes for me, even if I'm having a huge flare up, I am giving these messages to my mind about being in pain. And sometimes I need to be doing things to distract that. I need to show the mind, show the brain that actually I'm in a bit of pain, but I'm actually happy. I'm okay. I'm having fun. I can do this. I can do certain activities. You know, when I go and do my walks, I'm happy and in pain, but I am in happy. I am happy. And that's the things that we need to be kind of constantly feeding our subconscious brain. Rightio. I'm definitely off now. Have a wonderful day. Until I'm back on here soon, you take care. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.